Hey everyone, it's Stephanie again, and you are tuned into the review of Family or Fiancé, Season 1, Episode 4. So this episode is about Amber and Justin. They have been engaged for, I believe, 8 months to a year. I can't remember, but they've been together for a long time, like several years. On her side comes her mother, her brother, and her sister, and on his side comes his aunt, his brother, and his sister. And we see their dynamic, to me, from the beginning was a little off. Amber seems to be somewhat shut off and somewhat scared in the way that she presents. Like, she's very thoughtful about how she presents, but it's not thoughtful in a way where it's like, I want to be appropriate, or I want to be, you know, comfortable or confident. It's more thoughtful in walking on eggshells and not wanting to say the wrong thing or not wanting to trigger Justin. And Justin is the jokester. He doesn't know when to be serious. He's quite inappropriate. And we see that dynamic show up in the whole weekend when her family shows up at the house. We see him basically ignore them outside of saying hello. He's making pancakes. You know, he's not really engaging with the family. So we see that is a concern, because obviously somebody coming into your family, you would want them to be comfortable and spend time with your family and have conversation and see how they get along. Not only did he not do that, but he didn't look like he was interested in doing that. So her brother, who is a minister, and it's her older brother, is completely shut off just from a male perspective, because her father passed away, I think, the year before that. We see her brother kind of take that. He's very much an alpha male, but he also takes that protector role, and we don't see him impressed with the way that Justin is showing up, because Justin is not really showing interest. Her mother is not interested in giving a blessing. Really, nobody on her side is interested in giving a blessing. Her sister is concerned because she doesn't see the excitement. You know, when we get engaged, we can't wait to share it with our loved ones. We can't wait to put it online, you know, in the age of social media. We can't, I mean, it's almost not official. I mean, it is, but, you know, it's not official until everyone knows. And that's something that you're like so excited to scream from the rooftops about. Her sister found out on social media, and that is a big deal because your sister would know before social media. Her brother found out very recently. I don't think she even really told her brother how serious the relationship was, and she kind of just, you know, told her mom and left it alone. And her excuse for that was, well, we've been living together, so they should kind of know how important the relationship was and how serious it was. All red flags. Not sharing with the people you love the most. And she's very family oriented, and her father passed away. They're a very close-knit family. Her parents were together for 33 years before he passed away. Her dishonesty with her brother and her sister, and her kind of very flippant attitude, not disrespectfully, but just kind of like, I don't want to deal with the reality of how this is rolling out. All of those are red flags. We see Justin's family come, his brother, his sister, either his sister or his cousin, and his aunt. So we don't know where the mom or the dad is in this picture, and that's always very interesting to me, because family dynamics 100% influence relationships. So it's interesting to see that dynamic and wonder where these parents are and maybe how that affects him, because Justin tends to be somewhat rude, somewhat blunt inappropriately for shock value. And one of the things that his aunt says to Amber, because they had their little task from Tracy, the relationship expert, one of the things that she says as she's talking to Amber is basically that Justin may act a certain way, but it's because he's been abandoned, and so it's kind of like testing you to see if you'll stick around. My concern with that is, if he was a guy that was treating her well and respecting her, that would be good to know. Oh, okay, so if he responds in a way where he might be closed off or something, that's important for me to know where that's stemming from, and maybe something that we can work on moving forward. But because he is dishonest, there's allegations of cheating from his sister. That's one of the concerns that she brings up. We can't take that seriously. There's also an allegation of abuse. Amber had broken her arm, and when they asked her about it, because the aunt wanted to know, she said that she was in heels and she was mopping. I mean, it was so absurd, the excuse. So my concern in the aunt saying that is for a woman who's already in a place where she's abused, whether that's emotionally, mentally, or physically, she's going to hang on to that. Oh, I'm going to fix him. You know, oh, that's why he's doing that. Well, I can change him. I can make it better. Where it's not your responsibility, nor is it something that will make that big of an effect. He has to be willing to change on his own. You can support that. So we see all of these things going on, and we also hear his brother, who eventually talks to her brother, discuss his concerns, because he lives with Justin and Amber, and he hears the reality of their relationship. He hears their arguments. He knows how physical it's gotten, and there's just a lot of conversation that's been happening about the toxicity of this relationship. And we also see Justin sitting with her family and not really being respectful. And so before things come to a blow, the two brothers, her brother and his brother, get together and talk about their concerns of, you know, him putting his hands on her and him cheating on her and this lifestyle. She actually alludes to something, and we don't know what it is, but she says, you know, my family's traditional, my brother's a minister, so and I just want to look like his good little sister, so there's certain things that I'm just not going to share. So we can, you know, we can spend all day figuring that out. But what it gave me in her, just because of the way she presents and where she stems from, it just shows to me that she put herself in a position to do whatever is needed to remain in that relationship, because it doesn't seem natural for her. It's kind of like, I will keep him, so I have to do X, Y, Z. So things essentially come to a blow because she realizes that she's not being honest with herself. And that's one of the things that Tracy says in their sessions together. Are you being honest? You have to be first honest with yourself, honest with each other, and honest with your family. And so Amber has a moment of clarity where she's saying, you know what, my family is really important. I'm family oriented, and the way that you've disrespected them does not sit well with me. And the way that you've been dishonest. Now, she has been dishonest as well, but she's focusing on him. And so it comes to a head where they're not going to be together. And, well, actually, yeah, they're not going to be together. They decide not to be together. But on the updates, so I guess I'm wrong, they are together. On the updates after the episode, they got back together and they're planning this wedding. So it was really sad and concerning to see, because she's clearly in a place where she's not thinking in the most effective way. She's not thinking in a healthy way, and she's willing to hold on to him. And if she doesn't make the right choices, he can cause her to alienate the people that she has left, and now she has to stay because he's all she has. And so this episode was a little different because it was beyond, not that disrespect is okay, because it definitely isn't, but it was beyond disrespect. It was beyond, you know, flightiness or cattiness or immaturity. When we get into really the physical, emotional, mental abuse, you're wondering, what is this person really going into, and what is going on with them that they would allow themselves to engage in this type of relationship. And I think a lot of it, just from knowing the little history I know, probably stems with the loss of her father and maybe seeking some of that somewhere else and holding on to it. If Justin, you know, she said that Justin was really pivotal in that space for her when he passed away. So now it may not be like the best relationship for her, but she's trauma bonded, you know, and trauma bonded is when you and someone bond over a traumatic experience. And so you quickly build this bond and this emotional connection that sometimes is reflective of something that has longevity and has strength, but really it might just be over this thing that you guys have in common, whether he lost a parent too, or whether he was there for her when she lost her parent. And so that experience for her, which is a major experience, losing a parent, is always connected to him. So there are a lot of things that are going on here, but I hope that she makes the right choice and she kind of gets help and she gets herself out of a relationship and open to something that is good for her and something that will nourish her and will be reflective of her importance of family and her importance of her morals and values. So let me know what you guys thought. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell so you can find out when I first post these videos. And I will see you guys next week. Everyone have a wonderful week.